And welcome back to Simpleton Review. We are so glad you have joined us. It has been a long time since we have made a video. We had just terrible problems to begin with. We had audio issues, and then we had video issues, and then my boss has decided that I needed to travel all over the world. Well, no, just to Phoenix, Arizona in the middle of summer with 115-degree heat. But I guess that's actually not that much different from what the rest of the West is facing this year, so I can't even complain about that now, can I? It's been
hot.
Fun.
It's dang hot.
Yeah, and then other people have had jury duty, and so we've had all kinds of crazy things going on with our time. So we are finally back, and we are going to get into it. So for this month, we're going to start things off with Sleater-Kinney. The band is a good band, and I can't remember who's in the band. Who wants to tell me who's in the band? Because I forgot to pull up information for Sleater-Kinney. Here we go. Sleater-Kinney is an American rock band that formed in Olympia, Washington. Ooh, the capital. Ooh. Right on. In 1994, they're old like us. Not like you, Lemuel. They're old like us. Charlie and I, that is. The band's current lineup features Corin Tucker, who is the vocals and guitar, Carrie Brownstein, guitar and vocals, and following the departure of longtime member Janet Weiss in 2019, Sleater-Kinney originated as part of the Riot Girl movement and has become a key part of the American indie rock scene. The band's also known for its feminist and left-leaning politics. Now, some of you may know who Carrie Brownstein is if you've watched a pretty good show that was on in the early '10s, Portlandia. Then you know who Carrie Brownstein is. She's really funny. And this band has been around, again, for a long time, about 25 years. So why don't you tell me your opinion of the album Sleater-Kinney's Path of Wellness? Mr. Lemuel, you go for it first.
So I found it very interesting. I like the sound a lot. I'd compare it. I mean, I guess they've probably been around longer than Viagra Boys, but
yeah,
it sounds kind of similar with the distorted, like the distorted guitar and all that, and their singing is like, not as pitch perfect as some bands would try to keep, and I like that. I prefer that grungy sound to it.
Yeah,
that's a very fun album to just drive around and listen and kind of enjoy the interesting lyrics that she has in there.
Yeah.
Like that whole bit about enjoying her complex female characters.
Yeah, that was a pretty good song. I like that one a lot. Yeah. Who's she talking about? Herself? I don't know.
I have no clue. I can't answer.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think she's talking about. It seemed like she was talking about a lot of band members, like from like the chick band or the Riot Girl kind of setup. I think that
sure.
There's always that accusation once you're in the public that, that could have been a song from Carrie Brownstein.
Yeah. Because
she having a video presence on Portlandia and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Well, tell me what you thought about this album, Charlie.
I've liked others of their repertoire a lot more.
Yeah.
This one was on target. I did like the opening songs because those were the ones that sounded really different. They were produced in a different way. They blended a lot of sound. Corin Tucker's voice didn't resonate like it usually does.
Yeah.
I saw. Oh gosh, what band was it? It was Corin Tucker's band before Sleater-Kinney in Portland, and so like when I was a senior high school and like early college, and then I've seen their first shows like together, like in I want to say it was like probably 95. Because they were playing at the Pine Street Theater or somewhere, either that or the Roseland or something. And I had a crush. One of those like mild crush things on the singer.
Gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha. A long time.
So this one is okay, but you like some of their older stuff better.
I do. I did like the opening tracks, and I did like the one that we were talking about. Her talking about what kind of woman she is, and. That was a really poignant statement, and it's not one it's probably the most voiced on this song, but it's not something that they've let hang in their other albums.
Yeah. I like this album. I haven't really been too much, into Sleater-Kinney's music over the years, but what I've heard, I've liked. I think this album was a lot less hard, a lot more polished, really, than some of their older stuff was that I've heard. I do, but it still has that punk rock feel, and that's what I've liked about Sleater-Kinney is it's punk rock, man. I mean, you could listen to some of these songs clear back in 1980, and you would have been perfectly. I mean, they would have given Joan Jett and her band a run for them. Joan Jett's punk rock all girl band,
yeah.
right? That's what not the Blackhearts, but the band she was in before that. It would have given them a run for their money. I mean, they're that top tier type of a punk rock talent. I think maybe some of what happened with this album is that it was recorded and made during the pandemic, so they weren't all in the same room, and I think maybe that might have had some kind of that might have played into the overall sound of it. I think when you're a punk rock band or a rock band, I don't know if they consider themselves a punk band, but they're a punk band, let's face it.
Yeah.
But punk music is something that you have to feel in a room with your other band members. It's not something you can just play the guitar and then 2,000 miles away the other person's playing the bass or whatever. It just doesn't work. Punk is it's a group thing, man. You know what I mean? You have to be.
Yeah, they feed off. Every part feeds off each other.
Man.
Yeah, you just have to,
yeah, it's the experience.
Yeah, right. It is. So you have to be there.
Well, and they're feeding off the crowd because I mean it's definitely a live. Meant to be a live music.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So
when they see the crowd's getting wound up, the band's getting wound up.
Right. Lemuel, give me your score for Sleater-Kinney's album, Path of Wellness, which, by the way, was my favorite song, Path of Wellness. I really like that song.
It is a pretty solid song on that album.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with a 4.
Okay.
I like this album a lot, and I've liked it a lot more than some of the other albums we've reviewed this year. So I think it deserves a 4 from me, anyways.
What albums are you talking about, Lemuel?
We'll talk about that later. But
it doesn't. It doesn't start with a J and end with an Justin Bieber, does it?
Look, I'm not getting doxxed today, so.
Okay, that's fair enough. All right, a 4 from Lem. Charlie, what's your score, man?
I'm going to give it a 3. I hate to be hard on them, but at the same time, it's like, man. I still wanted more.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to give it a 3.5. Again, I like some of their older stuff better that I've heard. I like the grittier sound. This one felt a little bit more polished than some of their older stuff, to me at least. But it still rocks, and I liked it. There was a couple of songs I was like, man, I don't get it. I'm not sure you guys do either. So why you're doing the song, but. That is just a minor detail, so 3.5 out of 5, I think it's a pretty good score. So Lemuel gave it a 4, Charlie 3, and I've given it 3.5. Unfortunately, it does not get the Simpleton certified rating, but it is well worth your listen. So if you want to hear Sleater-Kinney's new album, and you should want to hear it, they're a classic band, man. They're famous. They're going to go down in history as one of those bands. So go listen to Sleater-Kinney. You can find it on any of your streaming platforms, or you can do what Charlie does most of the time. Go buy a physical copy.
Buy it.
Yeah.
Go buy it.
That's right. Support your local music stores and support the musicians. Much better than with streaming. And I have to admit it, and I'm guilty. I use streaming more than I do this music store. But we don't have a music store in this town. I just want to throw that out there.
This is true.
We are in Idaho Falls, Idaho. We do not have music stores anymore. I miss the Record Exchange. I love you, Record Exchange. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys for joining us here this week. We are so glad to be back. We did review Sleater-Kinney's new album, Path of Wellness. Go check it out. You'll like it. This is I'm Nate. Please join us next week for another wonderful episode of the Simpleton Review. Charlie, Lemuel, thanks so much for joining me here this week. We'll see you guys next week on the Simpleton Review. Let me say that one more time, just in case you don't know what we are. We're the Simpleton Review. Adios, guys. Bye-bye.